Hello YouTube, welcome back to the channel Flashback TNT, and welcome to the first video in a series I'm going to call Nintendo 64 PAL Collecting. Basically I want to go through my experiences collecting Nintendo 64 games complete in box, and I want to talk on like a collecting level in as much detail as possible, discussing what games there is, how many games there is, what games I've struggled to find, my experiences in searching for the certain types of games, what comes in the games themselves, and the complete package. Basically, you have in some games you have the game cartridge, your tray, your baggie, your precautions leaflet, your manual. Then you'll have warranty cards in some. You'll have posters. You'll have other leaflets and stuff like that. So I'm not an expert by any means. I've got a bit of experience, and I've talked to a lot of other collectors during my time collecting now for like 5 or 6 years. So I like to think I know something. So hopefully it'll be of good use to you. And if you've got anything to teach me, I'd love to hear it as well, because that's what this is all about. I'm not here just to tell you this is the stone cold truth. This is something that I hope will develop a bit of discussion, and it's not gospel what I'm going to say, obviously. So hopefully you can take it and use it yourself when you're collecting. You know what to look for in your games. I'm not saying everyone should go for like all the extras in games and stuff. As far as I'm concerned, if you've got complete in box, you've got your cart, your manual, your tray, and a box. That's fine by me. I just went a little bit extra and decided to get the other things because I love Nintendo 64 and I'm interested. So if you're interested as well, stick around. I know this is going to be a bit of a niche video or a video series, but I'm not in it for the views. I'm not expecting a high view count. I just want to talk Nintendo 64. Why I started my channel is partly due to this, as well as my other nostalgic things as a kid. So in this video, I think I'll start as a quick overview again of my collection, because I've redone the shelving behind me. I've got all my 242 games now in rows, so we can go over them again, and I'll explain my collection to you. Yeah, I'll flip you around so you can see them a lot better than just looking at me with some games in the background. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay guys, this is the complete Nintendo 64 PAL collection. There's 242 games, 242. So as collectors, if you want to go for the PAL set, you can either go for the UKV Euro set, which is 239 games, or you can go for the full PAL set, as we call it, which includes 3 more from the Australian releases, which is obviously PAL. So I've added them, and I can understand why some people don't, because they are crazy money. So these are in alphabetical order. I've took a few decisions myself in alphabetical order, as in I've put Legend of Zelda as like L. I've put the Turoks in number order rather than complete alphanumeric order. And there's a few other things like that as well. You'll notice I've got the small UKV Lilac Wars in there instead of the large big box, which is that one, and other things like that. Any questions, please drop a comment below. I love talking about this set. So when did I start my set? Alright, so I never originally set out for the full set. I originally set out to buy the 22 games I had as a kid that I can remember having. So I started off buying them slowly around 2013, 2014, 2015. And I wanted them originally mint as I could get. That's the way I was back in the day as a kid. As a kid, I used to take the carts out of the boxes, put the carts to the side, and then put the boxes on like a shelf just as display. And I never used to put the carts back in the boxes until I'd finished the game. Yeah, I can remember taking the carts out of the baggie, folding the baggie in half and putting it in the tray, and that will be it. Look after it, try not to crease it. Yeah, so as I say, I wanted to start off getting the 22 back. So I even started off buying them back in chronological order as I bought them back in the day. But as you can imagine, that was when I came up onto eBay, it would get a bit complicated then, because I'd see other games that I needed further down the line. So I just abandoned that eventually and started adding them all. It wasn't until I started joining some Facebook groups on obviously Facebook that I started to get an interest in the full PAL collection, because I didn't know anybody at the time who was doing it. So when I came across some like-minded people, it really intrigued me. So I started searching for more games. And the catalyst for it was, I would say, I'd pinpoint to an online auction win that I had for two lots of N64 games. There was around 21 games, I think, 10 in one and 11 in the other, and I managed to win them combined total for like 250 quid. But what really got me with that is one of the games was Rush 2049, which can easily go for more than that itself, even back then, and now it's even known as a rare game. Well, not rare, sorry. I'd say it pops up more than most classically rare games, but it's just expensive for some reason. It's like Conker's Bad Fur Day, really, really common, that game, but it can still command a lot of money because it's popular. I mean, I don't even think this is popular. It's got a bit of a stigma around it, like it's an expensive game. So, yeah. So once I got those, I just got the bug really, and I thought, you know what, I might as well. I had the money to do it. I had the interest in the N64. I had some friends backing me up. We were collecting together, and I decided to go for it. And I was adding like 10 games or more a week. There was boxes coming in galore. That's Rush 2049, by the way. There was boxes coming in galore, and I just exponentially went from there. I did initially try to get them all complete in box mint, but a weird phenomena I found as I've been collecting is my original estimation of mint back then has changed dramatically now. I feel I've changed as a collector, and what I perceived as mint back then isn't. I know it's quite sad really, but I can look at a game now and I can pick fault with it, even if it looks mint on the most part. That's just the way it is. I think most collectors go that way eventually. So I've upgraded a lot of these since, and I'm happy with the collection. There's a few in there that obviously need upgraded, but I think Rush 2049, I could probably upgrade that one. It's got a little bit corner wear. See that there? So if I'm being picky there. For example, I could upgrade it, but my logic now is, on average, I paid £20 for that, roughly, including postage, didn't I? If you take my total price divided by how many games were in that lot, so I paid £20. I'm not going to get one for anywhere near that. I could sell that and buy another one, but I'd still be probably down in money, so I'm not going to bother doing it. I mean, as it stands, that owes me absolutely nothing. So yeah, that's my mentality at the moment. If a game comes up that I really see that's mint and it falls in my lap for a good price, I will take it though. Yeah. So let's go alphanumerically, and I'll show you down the line. I just feel on YouTube that there isn't a lot of complete in box N64 collectors. So I'm happy to show a lot of it on my channel, because it's a popular system. If you look hard enough, there's a lot of people out there that do have some fond memories of this system. And as a library, it's got some really, really good games. I mean, Rare did Nintendo 64 and Nintendo in general are really good, solid. Basically, they supported them massively, and they created some of the most iconic games that's probably ever been out. Nintendo was smashing it as well with their own IPs. There's a few that's sealed in here. As a rule, I'm not a sealed collector, but I got them for a decent price, so I might be happy to keep them in there. I've sold a few sealed on and opened up a couple. You can find with the distributor seals that the games get damaged because the seals have started to shrink and crush the box. But I'll talk about that in another video. This is basically to get my series up and running, so I can get into gear and start talking some more N64 ideas and stuff like that. Another little overview while I'm doing it is the Player's Choice series that was released. I'll talk in more detail, but there was 10 games overall that was released, and this is these 10. Let's move these out of the way for you. So you can see that there's 10 games, staple titles. That's fantastic little run, that. I think they were released if a game sold, I think it was hypothetically a million sales. I'm sure somebody might know more than that than me. Yeah, so I collected, once I got the full set, and to keep my addiction going, I added this N64, which it was brand new, and a guy bought it sealed, but when he was buying it at a market, the guy slit it right in front of his eyes. He slit the the N64 seal there, that one there. That one's sealed. He slit the other side right in front of him to check the contents, and the guy couldn't believe it. I mean, imagine that happening. You found a sealed N64 and then a seller slit it open to make sure it's all right inside. That's mental. Yeah, so I bought this obviously at a reduced price. It's brand new inside, never been used. I've also added the coloured controllers that came released in the UK. As a console, the Nintendo were leading the way, weren't they, with like what was being released for peripherals and in colours and stuff like that. I mean, it's 10 a penny now. All console companies release controllers that are coloured and stuff like that, but Nintendo were definitely pushing the boundaries back then. What else have I got to show you? Yeah, some more peripherals here. You've got the transfer pack. I've got 2 expansion packs and a memory pack boxed. I'll probably go over these like in the own video, and some rumble packs. And then supplementary to that, I have a few of the NTSC games. I used to have Sculptor's Cut NTSC, but I sold that. I was starting to go down the path of a full worldwide set, but I thought I didn't have the space, and I didn't want to spend some of the money on some of the obscure, crappy games that was out, both NTSC-U and NTSC-J. So I thought, you know what, I'll cut that. I'll nip that in the bud. I'll cut it short, and I'll just stick to what games I might like to play from those regions. So that's what I've done. I've also got the Donkey Kong Yellow Cart. That's a PAL one from Australia. I got that because I can remember back in the day, me and my friend Jordan went down to Electronics Boutique. We were so excited to buy Donkey Kong 64. We both bought a copy. We got back in my bedroom, and I kid you not, I can remember sitting on my bedroom floor. We both opened Donkey Kong, and we were both gutted that the cart was grey. I swear that they said the cart was going to be yellow. So that was so disappointing. So yeah, I've made up for that all these years later. I've got a yellow PAL cart now. I've got the EverDrive, so I don't need to bust open some minty games, because some of those are actually new, unopened. Yeah, this is a fantastic little device. I'm sure you all know about it. You can play all your backup ROMs for your games on your N64. I've got one 64DD game left. I did have 7 or 8 games, and I think there's about 10 or 11 in total. I'd basically left myself with the 2 most expensive to get, and I thought, you know what, I can't be bothered. I don't want to spend that kind of money. I'll keep one. So I've got that, and I've got the F-Zero Japanese, just in case I ever buy a 64DD console. That was something I looked forward to back in the day, and I was gutted when it was cancelled. So it's nice to have that as a little memento. and it's meant to be a fantastic game. Obviously, I've talked about F-Zero X myself in the past. I've got a couple more Japanese games. I've got the Super Mario 64 Japanese one for speed running. I've got GoldenEye because it's one of my favourites, and Sin and Punishment because it's like an on-rails shooter that everyone says is fantastic. I haven't played it yet myself, but I will do at some point. And that leaves the N64 games here from North America. I bought a few of these from the UK, and I imported a few as well. But I've stopped the importing now since eBay started to charge the import tax straight away. You can't sort of negotiate with the seller to say, look, can you send it gifted and stuff. You have to send it straight away the money. I actually bought this Spider-Man from France, and it was mint when I ordered it, and it came, and the guy hadn't packaged it right, and it ended up getting a little bit of creasing damage, so I was annoyed about that, because I love Spider-Man, and this is sort of based on the animated Spider-Man series, same like level design stuff from the cartoon. It's my favourite, so I love that. Indiana Jones, Dr. Mario 64, I always wanted that because I loved it on the N64. I got Mega Man off my mate Dave, as I did with Ugg Battle 64. He'd got a massive bundle deal and he sold me those two. This one was quite funny. I bought this from America and it went on a little jolly. I don't know what happened. I think the label got damaged at some point and it ended up going to Jamaica instead of coming to me. And it went to Jamaica and the USA back, no word of a lie, 4 times before I contacted the seller, because it was like a few months later, and I said it hasn't arrived. And he got in touch. He's a really good guy, and he basically refunded me, and he got refunded off the postal company because they lost it. And then what was it, like 5 weeks later, because he'd inquired with the company, they'd found the parcel and they sent it on to me, and it came. So I basically ended up getting this for nothing, which is a good deal. Then you've got your Army Men games. These two weren't released over here, and they've got like coloured cartridges. Bassmaster I added because I could, and it was cheap. And then Hey You Pikachu, because it's a bit quirky. You can talk to Pikachu and stuff like that. Not that I've played it. No, probably won't play it. Yeah. So, yeah. I've got 40 Winks as well. Sorry, I skipped over that one. This was a nice little buy off my friend Dave as well. It's just basically an unreleased game that a company had a Kickstarter for. So I added that to my collection. Why not? I'd like to add Goldfinger 007 as well at some point, but it's hard to find on Etsy now. I think they must be clamping down on it. So yeah, hope that's okay as a quick overview of my N64 collection. You've got a few sealed games here. This was the only known sealed Toy Story 2 UKV copy that was known at the time. Since a few weeks ago, a new copy came to light. It's sealed and it's much better condition than mine. So hopefully that'll have great gold, and it'll be the only gold that's known around. But I'm happy that I've still got a second one. And there's a good backstory to this as well. It was bought at a car boot sale for £2.50 by an eBay seller. And so many people inquired when he put it on eBay that he put a buy it now bid of 200 quid, and I snapped it up. Those who know N64 collecting know that like this is so hard to find in decent condition. So that was fantastic. That he even kept me informed when people were messaging him trying to offer him like £450 that behind the scenes, but he stuck to his word and sent me that. My heart hasn't raced so fast, I don't think, on an N64 buy before. I got this Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask sealed, and I thought, you know what, I might as well have a go. My friend Dave got a lot of games graded. He's into the graded scene. Each to their own. Like, I know people have strong like comments for and against it. Look, if you like it, do it. So I thought I'm gonna have a go at that, and I sent mine away and I got it graded, and it came back 85 plus gold. So I was really pleased with that. And my friend Kev selflessly told me that a seller was selling 2 of these copies of a sealed Red Strip Zelda Ocarina of Time, and he knew I was in the market for one because this is one of my favourite games of all time. And the generosity of the guy, like, I've got to take my hat off to him. He could have bought both and sold one on, but he never. He told me about the woman selling it, and weirdly enough, Dave, my friend who had like graded this with, he was also in talks with it at the time, but he was away on holiday, so I didn't see her messages. So I ended up getting it, and she sold both copies of this one to Kev and one to me for £50 each. Now that is an absolute bargain, so I am grateful to Kev for that. And as a side note, when I said I had Sculptor's Cut, the NTSC version, the blockbuster release, it's one of the rarest like gems on the N64. I sold that to Kev, so I know it's in good hands now, and he's an appreciative collector, and I know it'll be safe. Finally, I think for this video, this is a variation of Beetle Adventure Racing that came out in Australia. HSV Adventure Racing. There's a few different skins in there, a few different little bit pieces. It isn't one of the standalone titles. It is a remake of Beetle Adventure Racing, which we have, so you can't really class it as part of the PAL set, but I thought I'd add it. It's one of those that's just as hard to get as the three, or expensive as the three Australian exclusives that you require if you want the PAL set. So I added that, being the N64 lover I am. Yeah, so that's it for this video. I've talked about my collection in general as I started, and just to finish up, when I finished my UK collection around, was it October 2018, and then added the few Australian exclusives the following year around April 2019. So that's how long I've had the full set, I think now. Was it 2017? It's been that long now, I forget. I think it was maybe October 2017, and then I finished the full set in 2018. Yeah, I'll go through all that in more detail in another video. So I hope you've enjoyed it, everyone. It's probably one of my longest videos to date, and I'll see you next time.